Hello, hello, dear students, ಆತ್ಮೀಯ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳೇ, ಇವತ್ತಿಂದ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಹೆಡಿಂಗ್ I am going to take the topic operating system. As already we have discussed about what is an operating system. Operating system is nothing but it is a collection of programs. It is a collection of programs. It is well organized collection of programs. To be precisely talking about the terminology operating system is, it is a well organized collection of programs to interact the user with the machine. What I mean to say is, the machine is nothing but it is a computer system. So how best and how smooth functioning will takes place in interacting with the machine or the system is nothing but it is an operating system. So this is operating system. So the early evolution of the computer history, if you see, there were no operating systems during those days. At the beginning of the computer era, if you go through that history of that computer era, evolution history, we don't find any operating system during that time, that period. Okay, is it clear? Now, this operating system is introduced to make the user friendly the machine. With the machine, we are very much friendly. We are interacting with the machine. That is an interface. It is providing the interface between the machine and the user. It is just like a platform. It acts as a platform between the machine and the user. Okay? During those days, when it was not existing, this operating system kind of system software, everything, whatever you are doing, whatever you are going to make different subsystems or sub-modules or external peripheral devices or an internal peripheral devices connected to the central processing unit, which is nothing but it is the brain of the system. If you are going to make a communications between them, you have to write each and everything in terms of a machine code, which was very difficult, and during those days it was very difficult to learn the computer language also. What I mean to say is a machine language, which is written in terms of zeros and ones, which is everything is written in terms of codings. So that was a very difficult era. So when this operating system has evolved, the operating system which makes the user friendly to interact with the system software, that is with a machine. Now, in this chapter, we are going to study the evolution of operating system, types of operating system, functions of operating systems, and modern operating systems. So here in this figure also you can see that Linux is an operating system, Apple is an operating system, Microsoft Windows is an operating system, IBM, Ubuntu, Unix, and so on. Okay, so these all are examples of operating systems. Okay, operating system, it provides the platform to use the machine. It is an interface between the user and the machine. Okay, now let us see one by one. Now, what exactly the definition says about this operating system? Okay, the operating system, an operating system which is, in short, it is called as OS, operating system OS, is the program that after being initially loaded into the computer by a boot program. So just look at to this type of terminologies. Boot program manages all of the other application programs in a computer. The application programs make use of operating systems by making requests for services through defined application program interface. In short, it is called as a API. It is well organized program to interact with the machine. Here it is written, it is being initially loaded into the computer. Initially loaded. Whenever you buy a computer or any system or any machine, laptop or any other form of this desktop or whatever it is, the machine, then it comes with preloaded that software operating system. Because when you get a system from the market, so it should be operatable, it should be usable. So the customer, the user may not get wonder what exactly it is. Nothing is displayed. Whatever I am going to give the commands to the system, it is not listening. The keyboard connected, but it shows that. So there is no such devices recognized by the CPU. So it should not supposed to happen. So that is the reason. So it is preloaded. So the manufacturer or the assembler who is going to make the machine get ready for the use, so he will load the system with this kind of system software. Is it clear? Now, it is use of the operating system by making request for services through a defined application program interface. It is already defined. So, what are the different applications and what is the interface you are using? So, in short, application program interface API. Okay. Now, let us see the other. In addition, user can interact directly with the operating system through user interface. The user interface. Directly interacting with the user interface, which is nothing but an operating system. Okay. Such as a command line interface CLI or graphical user interface GUI. Okay. So where you will be going to click on the icons, windows, you are going to just click on that. Okay. So during 1970s and 80s, so the system was everything we have to enter through a DOS commands, disk operating system commands. Okay. So there was a text command only. Now the text command is also available. The graphical commands are also available. Just use the mouse, click on the particular icon, you get your applications executed. That's very easy. Okay. Now, an operating system brings powerful benefits to the computer software. So it is providing the powerful benefits to computer software and the software development. If anybody engage with the development of the softwares, so he or she must have that operating system in his or his system. Without an operating system, every application would need to include its own UI, own user interface. So just imagine, it's very hard to imagine. It is impossible things which we are imagining now. So in olden days, so during the beginning of the computer era, so that was faced by those time users, as well as the comprehensive code needed to handle all the low level functionality of the underlying computer, such as disk storage, network interfaces, and so on. Considering this vast array of underlying hardware available, this would vastly bloat the size of every application and make software development impractical. Okay, so without the operating system in this computer hardware, so it was very impracticable, it was very unthoughtful concept for the system. Now it has become the major organ or major part of the system to synchronize between the user and the machine. Okay. Now let us see the types of operating systems. There are several n number of types of operating systems. So here whatever it is written are some of the important and regularly being used system softwares. Okay, so let us see one by one. Simple batch operating system. Simple batch operating system. So here the operating system is not going to interact with the different jobs given to it. Okay, so the system is not going to interact with the different jobs given, so it is splitting into in terms of different batches, so that is why it is called as a batch operating system. Okay, so the next one is a multi-programming batch operating systems. Here multi-programming, more than one programs. Just see by name itself, the name itself indicates it is a multi-programming. There are more number of programs at the same time. So we are dealing with, we are executing number of programs. So that is why it is called as a multi-programming. Similar terms, here you can see multitasking operating system. So here multitasking means more than one task, multitask. Number of tasks can be given to the machine for the execution process. Is it clear? Now the another similar term we can see over here. So this is a multiprocessing operating system. Here more than one processing system will be there. More than one processor is going to accept the task, accept the required issues to be resolved. Okay, so that concept comes under such type of operating system is called multiprocessing system. And there is one more important over here, network operating system. Here the number of computers are interconnected. So number of computers are interconnected and all together connected to one particular server, one particular main processor, which we call it as a server. Okay, so all systems are going to be considered as a slave, and one will be the master, master slave. Whatever the master will be sending the informations to the slaves, or slaves will be going to send the informations to the masters. It is interacting, and that also with a very beautiful concept that is called as a distributed operating system, or it is a time sharing operating systems. Time sharing operating systems. And there is very important, the latest one is the real-time operating system. In short, it is called as RTOS, RTOS. Okay, so in this way we are going to study all the different 8 mainly used in the computer industries, computers, system software, operating systems, so different types. Let us see one by one. Okay. Now, check it here. This is the general concept. So, this general purpose operating system, it is useful for all the systems. Okay. So, it is mainly used for the beginners. It is not for particular kind of a system software. It is generally being used software. So, that is general purpose operating system. So, let us see the definition. A general purpose operating system represents an array of operating system. It is a general purpose operating system represents an array of operating systems intended to run a multitude of applications on a broad selection of hardware. So, it is broad selection of hardware. So, there were number of devices, number of supporting peripheral devices connected inside the system as well as outside the system. Internal system, outside the external systems. Okay. So, these are going to be connected, enabling a user to run one or more application or task simultaneously. Just now we have discussed multiprogramming, multiprocessing, multitasking. The different kinds of system softwares are available in the market for different applications. Is it clear? Okay. Next, run one or more applications or tasks simultaneously. Simultaneously, more number of programs can be executed, more number of tasks can be executed. Multiprocessing, multitasking and multiprocessing, multitasking, multiprogramming. Okay. So, number of programs can be executed parallelly. It is a parallel execution concept which automatically enhances the execution process. The main intention is to save the time, but it does this type of applications within a nanoseconds. The technology is so fast growing, so every 3 months the technology gets doubled. The space of the transistors, the space of the core, the space of the central processing unit, it is getting reduced. Every 3 months the size of the silicon die gets reduced and the time also gets reduced and the power consumption also gets reduced. Everything gets reduced. So, that is the reason it is called as reduced instruction set computer, in short RISC. Now, see, application or task simultaneously, a general purpose operating system can be installed on many different desktops or laptops models and run applications from accounting system to database to web browser or to games. Okay. So, because of this facility, because of this availability, so what we can do best is we can have the accounting systems, database, web browsers, games. Okay. General purpose operating systems typically focus on process and hardware management to ensure that applications can reliably share the wide range of computing hardware present. Common desktop operating systems including the following. These are the most popularly known operating systems. Okay. So, there were number of manufacturers, number of developers, number of companies are there, so to develop so different operating systems. So, this is Windows. So, this is from the Microsoft. So, this is from the Microsoft. Everybody knows this, Microsoft Windows. Okay, so during 80s, so 3.1 window operating system was the first operating systems, so they have launched, which is a graphical user interface based. Okay, so later, now Windows 11, Windows 12, it is available now. Okay, so is a Microsoft flagship operating system the de facto standard for home and business computers. It is both for household computers, home computers, or the business computers. So this is very popularly known and easy to use also. This introduced in the year 1985. This is a graphical user interface based operating system, has been released in many versions since then. So many versions we have seen. So during this computer beginning to now the current date. Okay, so this is the one. So this is rapid development of personal computing. Now see, this Mac OS, Mac operating system is for Apple's Macintosh line of PCs and workstations. Okay, so Apple, the company, has got their own operating systems. Okay, in mobile field, so that they will call it as a iOS, Apple, and in the other mobile manufacturers, so they will be using the Android versions, Android 11, 12, 13. So the latest is now in the market is Android 13. Okay, that is for a personal mobile operating system. So now Unix is a multi-user operating system designed for flexibility and adaptability. And originally it was written in the C language. Already we have discussed in the previous classes about the language of the computer. The language is nothing but it is the communication channel, or it is the path which is going to make a system and the user to interact, to transfer the data, or to transfer or receive the informations either side. So this Unix is a multi-user operating system designed for flexibility and adaptability. Originally developed in the year 1970s, Unix was one of the first operating system to be written in the C language. Okay, it's a C language. So there are so many languages are there. Language B, language C, C++, Java, or COBOL, or Fortran, BASIC, and Pascal, and so many languages are there. So written by the different companies, which we need to communicate with the system. Is a translator is required, that is called as a compiler. If the program is written in the assembly code, in the machine, different machine to machine it gets differ. So for that we need the translator as an assembler. Okay, ultimately the machine will understand only the language of zeros and one, which is called as a machine language. Okay, now I am telling you that, so what exactly the machine require. So Linux is a Unix like operating system that was designed to provide PC user a free or a low cost alternative. Linux has a reputation as an efficient and fast performing system. The beauty of the Linux is it is an open source software. It is an open source software, so where you can have freely available open source. The user can use it freely, as well as you may get wonder, you can develop this language at some extent, at some level, and you can give it back to the operating systems developers. Okay, so that is the one here, open source, which is nothing but it is an Linux, is a Unix based system. So the virus is very minimal in the Linux because it is written in terms of C codings, C language, which is a programming high level language. Okay. Now check it, the batch operating system. Batch operating system. Look at this figure. Jobs, batch, jobs, operating systems, hardware. Let me redraw the same figure with a job 1, job 2, job 3, and so on, the job n number of jobs, similar kind of jobs. It may be a payroll or banking system or whatever it is, which is a similar kind of jobs. Okay. So these all jobs, it is going to be interacting not with the machine directly. Instead of that, it goes to the operating system. Which operating system? This operating system, batch operating system. How these jobs are going to get converted into the different batches. So here, this all batch 1, batch 2, batch 3, and so on, batch 1, 2, 3, and so on. This all gets connected to the CPU, central processing unit. See how best. So this figure makes you very clearly, okay, to understand the concept of batch operating system. Now here also it is written jobs batch wise. So operating system, hardware is nothing but it is the CPU only. So already we are familiar with hardware, software, firmware, middleware, and so on. So many things we have discussed in the last class. Is it clear? Now this, how it is working, this is a job, it is interacting with the operating system. The job 2 is also interacting with the operating system, and so on. All the n jobs are going to interact with operating system. Operating system, what it will do is it is going to form the different batches. I will tell you one best example for this. Okay. So in the month of June, the school and colleges, they start taking the admission to the students for their school or colleges or whatever the universities or whatever it is. So they start taking the admissions, and after taking the n number of admissions, they will sort out them all students with different categories or the different batches. They are going to put them in different batches, batch A, batch B, C, or batch 1, 2, 3, or something. They will give some identifications mark. Okay, is it clear? So let us assume that 100 students have taken admission in one professional degree course. 100 students have taken. So how the administrator, how the intellectual pupils sitting in the administrations, how they are going to improve the education quality. So they will be going to decide, principal and the management and the administrators. So how they are going to divide the 100 students among the different batches. So I will tell you one thing is, so those who have scored 90 plus in their previous examinations, them will be categorized. So those students will be categorized, and those students will be going to put in the batch A. And those who have scored 80 plus, and less than 90 marks, so batch B, and those you have taken the 70 plus, batch C, and those you have taken up to 70, so that they will be going to consider their batch is a batch D. Okay, so now according to their standard of education, according to their previous background, previous marks, previous percentage, the staff is going to be allocated and the extra work will be given to the poor students, and the extra work is going to be given to the intelligent students for their different competitive examinations. The similar way here also, all the similar jobs at one level, it is going to be interacted with this operating system, and that is divided into different batches with interaction with the hardware or the central processing unit. So this type of operating system is known as batch operating system. In these types of jobs were batched together and executed in time, people were used to having a single computer which was called mainframe. So this is the one computer, single computer. It has got one hardware, one central processing unit. So in batch operating system, access is given to more than one person, So here, so number of persons are there, 1, 2, and so on, n number of persons. Okay, so they submit their respective jobs to the system for the executions. They will be submitting their details, their data they will be submitting for the execution process. Okay, now all these gets processed through a batch operating system, which is going to reform or forming this different batches, batch modules, and that it is going to be interacted with one particular computer. Okay, one system. The system puts all of the batch in a queue on the basis of first come first serve, and then executes the jobs one by one. The user collects their respective output when all the jobs gets executed. It is the best concept. Okay, so the admission process which I explained, the same concept is going to be done in this kind of operating system. Okay, now multi-programming operating system. Here also you can see this figure, multi-programming operating system. Multi-programming is an extension to batch processing. Multi-programming is an extension to batch processing. My dear students, this multi-programming is it is an extension of batch operating system. Okay, so just we had discussion about this batch, how it is batch are different form. So here it is an extension, multi-programming. Multi means many, programming, so many programs. Okay, multi-programming. You can look at this figure, secondary disk storage. So here see, CPU is interacting with program C, waiting for CPU, program B, program A, operating system, main memory. So there are multi-programming, here so many programs are there. Okay, so all it is in the main memory, operating system, program A, program B, program C, okay, waiting for CPU to get interact. Okay, so here it is going to be interacted. One by one. It is a queue formation. Okay, so all these are in queue. Execution in progress. So central processing unit and these many programs. So whatever the result produce, writing output data to the secondary storage. Okay, in secondary storage, the data output is going to be written. Okay, so now Let me explain. Let me explain even in a simpler way. Let me explain even in simpler way. So this is a CPU, central processing unit, and this is going to connect it to a job 1, and this is connected to a job 2, this is connected to a job 3, and so on. A job n, job n. This is based on the sharing or based on the time allocations. So these all jobs will be taken by the CPU. So the job 1, first come first serve, it will be done. So the next, and so on the next. After that, it shows you the results in the hard disk or floppy disk or any other secondary storage devices. Already we have discussed about these memories. Okay, different types of memories and what for RAM and what for RAM, static RAM, dynamic RAM, ROM, the different types of ROMs, flash drive and all, everything. Okay. Now see, so this is how multi-programming, so many programs. Here also you can see so many programs are going to interact directly with the CPU. This is just extension of the batch operating system. Okay. So next, multitasking. So this is a multitasking. More than one task. My dear students, just imagine. So the computer is one and you are going to dump it so many tasks at the same time. Suppose the 2 teachers ask you to submit the assignment tomorrow morning at 9:30. Then how do you feel? Sir, ನಮಗೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರು ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರು ಸರ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನೀವು ಸಹ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ, 2 ವರ್ಕ್ ಸೈಮಲ್ಟೇನಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಸರ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು, ಹೌದಲ್ಲ? So the 2 work. So here the just terminology, look at that terminology, multi, not 2 or 3 or 4, multitasking, so many tasks. So here you can see multitask operating system. It is a logical extension of multiprogramming. So how these all operating systems are interconnected, just imagine how it is all interconnected and how it is interrelated also. Okay, not only the connections, relation also it has got. Okay, now so the batch operating system is an extension of multiprogramming. Operating system. This has extension. Now this multiprogramming has got extension, logical extension for the multitasking operating system. There is nothing difficult over here to understand the basic concept of operating system and its different types. It's very easy. Okay, now check it out. Batch operating system, it is going to split the jobs, similar kinds of jobs, into different batches, batch 1, batch 2, batch 3, and directly it is going to be connected to the or interacting with the CPU. Now multiprogramming, the next is multitasking, so many tasks. Here the example given in this flowchart or a block diagram is Word, which is processing through an operating system. Web browser, so that is also processing through an operating system. Email is processing through an operating system. So you can add it over here. A media player, so during your execution processor, you would like to listen some of your favorite songs, some of your favorite ghazals. So here you can add it a media player, or here you are going to add some social media platform to get interact with your friends, such as it may be WhatsApp, Telegram, or Instagram or Facebook or any other. So you can have multiple tasking at the same time. That is possible because of such a multitasking operating system. Multitasking operating system is a logical extension of multiprogramming. Here so many tasks are given, many tasks in this operating system. My dear students, listen and carefully understand, try to understand the basic concept of operating system and the different types. It allows a user to perform more than one computer task at the same time. At the same time, you can have multi-programs, multi-tasks are going to interact with the CPU for the execution process. Okay, so now, so the next one is a multiprocessing. See, the multiprocessing operating system. Multiprocessing operating system is a type of operating system in which more than one CPU is used for the execution of the resources. More than one CPU. Till now, whatever we had the different types of operating system, there was a one CPU, one central processing unit. But whereas in this kind of operating system, multiprocessing, there are so many processors. Just imagine how it is going to get work done. Okay, so now multiprocessing, there are many processors gets involved in this kind of operating system. Okay, so here CPU, central processing unit, registers are there, which are nothing but it is a basic storage elements. Registers are group of flip-flops. Flip-flop is nothing but it is a 1-bit storage device where you can either store 0 or 1. Okay, so cache also we have studied in the previous classes. That is nothing but it is the fastest memory placed between the two different modules of the memories. Okay, so which plays a role of catalyst. What the catalyst will do? It boosts the reactions, chemical reactions. If suppose you are going to add it sodium hydroxide and the HCl, then it is going to interact with that, reactions will take place and the salt formations or some other formations will take place. So the same way, so here if you are going to put in a catalyst in this chemical reactions, the chemical reactions will get fast. Okay, so here this, by using the multiprocessing, there are many processors involved in the multitasking, multiprogramming concept. Okay, so all it is going to be added with this. So that is called as an advanced technology, my dear students. Okay, advance is not something it has come in a overnight. Okay, so it has covered so many years to come to at this stage. Now we have a latest technology era, and every 3 months it gets changed, it gets advanced. So the time consuming for any task, it is going to be reduced. So the space for which you are using the silicon die gets reduced, and the time cost, price, everything is going to get reduced, and the technology is growing faster and faster. So among this is the advanced modern operating system, multiprocessing operating system. So there were more than one CPU is being used. Okay, so here the CPU register cache, CPU register cache, CPU register cache, all it is going to be interacted with the memories. Okay, so that memory is going to get interact with operating systems, or the operating system is going to be loaded into the memories, and then it is going to be interacted with the other peripheral devices connected to that system. Okay, is it clear? Now come to the next one. Here, this network operating system. Network operating system. The name itself indicates it has got a big network. There are different types of networks also. Let us see first the definition of this network. So, network operating system, an operating system which includes software and associated protocols to communicate with other computers via a network conveniently and cost effectively, is called network operating system. It's very simple. It is a simple and simplest definition of network operating system. This operating system includes software and associated protocols to communicate. So protocols, so it may be a modem, okay, modulation, demodulations. So this modem, so this is a short form of modulator, and this demodulation, because whatever the informations you are going to transfer it to a longer distances, over a longer distances, thousands of miles, thousands of kilometers, if you are going to send the data, informations, then what is required is you have to use the transmitter, and then at the receiving stations you have to use the receiver. So that conversion of the so many things should take place before sending and after receiving, so that conversions, everything will be done through a process called a modulation process. Modulation and demodulation at the receiving stations. Modulation is the process by which you are going to superimpose your signals on the carrier frequencies, high frequency carriers. Suppose you just imagine, so this is my data, so this is in this form. What I am going to do is, if I want to send the same information over a longer distances, I am going to put it into the high carrier frequency. So this is a high carrier frequency. I am going to superimpose my data on the high carrier frequency. Just imagine, if I want to send some 100 bags of cement from one place to another place, I am going to hire a heavy duty or heavy vehicles, okay, such as a truck, okay. So where I am going to put it 100 bags of a cement to transfer it from one place to another place, okay. Suppose I want to carry one child of 10 years from one place to another place, which may be a 10 kilometers of distance, then I will use my scooter or any bike or two-wheeler for conveniently I can reach to the destinations, okay. So these, what I mean to say is, the carrier, which is where you are going to superimpose your signals, informations. So this way you are going to superimpose, okay. So here this network systems, how it is connected, here you can see. So server software, so this is the main software, main computer, which is a main frame where all the different agents, all the different nodes are going to be connected. All the different nodes or the computers are connected, and they will be sending their information, and all the storage will be in the main server only at one particular centralized place. So that all connections through the different modes is called a networking. For this kind of operations, you need a network operating system. Okay, it is a platform between the user and the machine. What is the main purpose? Okay, so here this networking may be a LAN type, local area network, a metropolitan area network, or it may be a wide area network WAN. It depends upon the distance between one node and the server, or between the different nodes and the servers. Okay, so that is the one. So here you are going to use this type. Okay, the next, real-time operating system. In short, it is called RTOS, 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 real-time operating system. This kind of operating system is mainly used for the embedded systems. Embedded systems. Embedded systems. Let us see the definition of this real-time operating system. In real-time operating system, each job carries a certain deadlines. Each job carries certain deadlines within which the job is supposed to be completed. In the name of this operating system, there is a terminology used, real time. There are two types of RTOS. One is hard real-time operating system RTOS, and the other one is a soft real-time operating system. There are two different types. So in both the types, the time constraint is very, very, very important. Okay, so in the hard, the time constraint is very strict. Time constraint is strictly required, whereas here, so there is no strictly requirement about the constraint. Okay, here this in hard RTOS, even possible delay is also not permitted. Okay, possible delay is not permittable. There is a fixed amount of time which is a very, very, very short period of time. Okay, so it enhances the securities. It enhances the securities concepts. Just imagine, okay, if anybody is traveling in the car, so he met an accident. If the airbag does not get opens during that period of time, then what is the use of such type of operating system, real-time operating system? Okay, so even the seat belt is having that kind of software, real-time operating system RTOS, which is designed for a seat belt, airbags, air traffic controlling, and so many applications. So basically it has been used in the embedded systems. What is embedded system? This embedded system is a system for one particular applications, one and the only one applications. It is designed for that concept. Okay, so this embedded system, which requires a small amount of operating systems, not a lengthy or a whole thesis required for an embedded system. Suppose I want to use in the printer this RTOS, what else I'm needed there? So just whatever the data or the pictures or the figures given to the printer, it should get printed, nothing else. So the printer is not going to compute your data. So you are not going to put any mathematical calculations or logical calculations, arithmetic and logical operations. So where you are not going to do anything other than that printing job. Okay. So for that purpose, you need a limited version of operating systems, which is where the time constraint is very strictly required. So this type of system, operating system, is known as the real-time operating system, supposed to be completed. Otherwise, the huge loss will be there, or even if the result is produced, it will be completely useless. Just imagine, useless. So where you are not going to get out of this. Okay, if the airbag does not open at the moment the car gets accident, okay, so that time is very, very short. So within that nanoseconds, it should get activated, it should protect the life of the car user. Okay, so this is a very important and very best kind of real-time operating systems used in the many embedded systems. Okay, so here the task scheduling, task 1, 2, 3, resource management, read, write, and it is how that it is embedded on the electronic chip. So here so many through Bluetooth or some Wi-Fi or whatever it is, so you are going to interconnect. Is it clear, all of you? Yes? Now the next is a time sharing operating system. So here each task is given some time to execute so that all the tasks work smoothly. Each user gets the time of the CPU as they use a single system. These systems are also known as multitasking systems. Multitasking systems. The task can be from a single user or a different users also. The time that each task gets to execute is called a quantum. After this time interval is over, operating system switches over to the next task. The name of this is a time sharing. So how this time is going to share here? Just look at this figure. Look at this block diagram. Okay. So here there is a CPU. The CPU is going to ask the user 5 for anything which is the service required. If not, or if the service required by the user 5, so then the CPU is providing the service to the user 5. And there is a allocation for the time, particularly 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever it is set by the programmer. So it is going to be allocated over here. Allocations will take place. The next, it moves to the next user, ready state. So next user, the next user, next, and so on. It will be a round robin fashion. Round robin fashion in this style. So the CPU is providing the service to all the customers, all the users connected to this. It is a multitasking system. Okay, so many tasks are there, but based on the time sharing, time is given 10 seconds for user 1, 10 seconds for user 2, 10 seconds for user 3, and so on. In this way it is designed. Okay, so now the next one is distributed operating system. So see here, the communication network is distributed among the different systems connected to it. Okay, distributed. So these types of operating system is a recent advancement in the world of computer technology and are being widely accepted all over the world, and that too a great pace. Various autonomous interconnected computers communicate with each other using a shared communications network. Independent systems possesses their own memory unit and the CPU. These are referred to as a loosely coupled system or distributed systems. Okay, so this way the communication will take place between the communication network and the different machines. So if you come across any difficulties to understand this, please comment and please subscribe this channel and put your likes. If you are getting benefited with this, and promote this among your friend circles and your relatives and your any one, if you know, with those who are in aspirants of MCA, MBA or CA foundations or whatever it is. So this Rio is going to provide you all type of educations, all type of competitive exams material, and you just please subscribe this channel, and so you please come forward to have the benefits which this Rio classes, Rio Academy is providing you. Thank you, and all, good night.